Serp Garage Colt Python. Sorry, it's a Colt Trooper Mark III. Sorry, we're getting confused. All right, so let's get into it. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the confusion there. Let's get it all together. We got to get it together. Welcome new subscribers. Took a little bit of a break there. You know, the holidays get crazy. Gets cold in the Serp Garage, but here we're following up on the Python video with a Colt Trooper Mark III. So let's get into it. Where did this gun come from? When? How? 1952. Colt made a U.S. Border Patrol model designed by Bill Jordan and Harlan Carter. This is Bill Jordan's actual gun right here that he kept out of that run of 400 that they made. It had a bull barrel. It was 38 caliber. It did something. It was like a spark that ignited a forest fire that led to pythons and Colt Troopers all over the place, you know, and to this Mark III. So it was 1952. The Python had not come around yet. There was no troopers at all. And this is what led into it. 1953 is when the first trooper was first brought into existence. This was a less expensive alternative to the Colt 357, which later became the Python. And the Colt 357 model just kind of got folded into the Trooper fold because they already had a premium 357 model. I don't even remember what I covered in the Python video. See, but this is already getting confusing. But the bottom line is the Trooper first started in 53, and it was produced to 1985. The Python didn't start till 55. And it was based on Colt's I-frame, same as the Python. It was in 22 long rifle and 38 special, because there was no 357 because that was a special model when it first started, I'm saying, in 53. They came blued, they came nickel, there was a target and a service version. And this had to do with different hammers, there are a couple of different specifications to it between the target and the service versions. So you can imagine that the targets would be more the civilian version of it, where the service versions were very popular with police departments. It had a hammer-mounted firing pin, unlike this guy. This was the original Trooper, 53 to 69, not the Mark III. It had a hammer-mounted firing pin, 4 and 6 inch barrels. And after the Python was introduced in 55, Colt discontinued the 38 Special Trooper in 61 and did away with the 357 moniker and renamed it Trooper. Kept the 357 mag chambering and frame-mounted firing pin, but kept this entry-level subdued finish. And the 22 long rifle offerings continued. I don't know what the hell I'm writing here. I'm out of control. I'm writing stuff I can't even decipher. Let's start with the Mark III now. In 69, the Mark III kicked in. In 69, the Colt saw a drop-off in sales due to high prices because making that Trooper, the original Trooper, just was they had to charge too much for it. And what they said is high labor costs inherent in its manufacturing process. So supposedly, when they came out with this Mark III now, let's turn the page here, to Mark IIIville, they made these things cheaper. This obviously is a 22 caliber version of it. Reason I got this is because you can go broke shooting the Python. Here's our Python. You could really go broke shooting this thing. 357 is expensive, and this is a 79. This is a 79. I kind of got it as a, as a less expensive version where, you know, you're still having fun feeling like you're shooting a python. That's basically, that could take place of all of this that I have right here. But let's get into the Trooper Mark III info that I wrote down here. They opened up a new plant in 1969 in Rocky Hill, Connecticut, just to make this Mark III. They really dumped a lot into this. They changed the frame. So this was a big thing here. This was a big thing. It wasn't just Trooperville. There was a lot of, let me get out the book. Colt, History of Colt, the Book of Colt Firearms by R.L. Wilson. There it is. And my copy, I always like to brag, it's signed to somebody, but not me. Don't think that, you know, you get my name there, because I don't know who that guy is. But to Jack Shalak, thanks for donation of your book. Are we going to get a glare here? Let's see, where are we? Here's the Border Patrol model, the info on that. The 4-inch heavy bull barrel, 38 special 6-shot. This lit a flame, man, you know, and which led to the Trooper here. So here's the Trooper, and here's the .357 Magnum revolver that they folded into the Trooper production. Here's the Python. Now here's the Mark III. These are the different versions. There was a Metropolitan Mark III. This was 38 special 4-inch barrel. There was a Lawman Mark III, .357 4-inch barrel. And the Official Police Mark III, 38 special 4-inch, 5-inch, or 6-inch barrels. The book lists all the different setups for them here. But it was these. First it was the Trooper, and then several months later, after the introduction of the Mark III Trooper, were the Metropolitan, the Lawman, and the Official Police. So it was like a whole series. But one of the biggest changes, they went from the I-frame to the J-frame. They called it the first advancement of Colt's designs since the beginning of the 20th century. First major advancement is what they called it, right? And the Mark III it had absolutely no parts interchangeability. Even though, like, you put them next to each other, you would swear, you'd be like, all right, maybe there's a few differences, but no, I looked at them, it's true. Every single screw is in a different spot. Every piece of it is a different dimension, different size. But when you put them next to each other, you don't really seem to see any differences. But boy, let me tell you, they're there. Totally different gun, totally different frame. Not one part interchanges between the I-frame of the Python and the J-frame here of the new Trooper, the Mark III. They had a transfer bar lockwork system. They could only be fired if the trigger was deliberately pulled all the way to the rear. So you could see this here. Here's the transfer bar system here. That bar contacts the firing pin there, which in turn protrudes here, as you can see, to fire the round. Now, if you pull the trigger, hold the trigger all the way down, the transfer bar stays there to transfer that motion into the firing pin, as you can see right here. If your finger should come off the trigger at any point, you could see the transfer bar drops. I dropped the hammer there, but if you let go, that transfer bar drops. Now it falls into this space under here where it doesn't fit between here, that allows the firing pin to get hit. So you can see, will not fire unless you're purposefully, deliberately, they call it, deliberately pulling the trigger to the rear. So it's an interesting safety mechanism. You see it on our Ruger Police 6 or whatever that was. Remember, we were in there before with the transfer bars. We were talking about them. All the springs in the gun were changed. They were improved from flat springs to stainless coil springs. A 22 Win Mag rimfire chambering was added. And the model lines included, oh, here we went through them. I wrote that all down here. But yeah, now you could, there were various forms of different 38s and different that had their own names. You know what I mean? Instead of it just being a trooper that was in 38 caliber with a 4-inch barrel. You know what I mean? Each one of these had like its own name. It was pretty cool. And these were discontinued in 1983. The Python in this form continued all the way to 2005. But these, the Mark IIIs were only from 69 to 83. Not an incredibly long run. And then there was a Mark V series from 82 to 85. I'm reading here. I don't know much about them, or what changes were made, or if it's even on a different frame. Sorry, no idea. But these, let's get a closer look here. They are an awesome revolver all in itself, even if nothing Python ever existed. You see, you don't have that ribbed barrel, but this long rib that runs along the top with the matted top on it, it's as distinctive almost as the you know, the slotted ribbed barrel. The ejector rod is nice and shrouded here and protected. These nice adjustable sights. These aren't you know, just stock nonsense sights on here. They're beautiful sights. They're recessed cylinders here. Very smooth. This case hardened hammer and trigger. Nice wide hammer here. Trigger smooth. And the some differences here with the cylinder opening latch, I think, is not checkered. But here on the Python, it looks the same. It looks the same on the Python. I'm not sure what I was reading. I think maybe these older troopers might have had checkering there or not. There was some difference there, but I forgot exactly what I read. But the grips, I mean, same grips. They really, you know, they really put some high-end work into these, even when they said that they cheapened manufacturing. I'm not really sure where the hell they're talking about. Let's get some, let's go on my 22 snap caps in here, and let's load it up with the snap caps. Show you how it looks with the flat, with that recessed cylinder like that. Very sweet. Very sweet like that when that with the recessed cylinder when it's flat like that. Makes for a very clean look. And this guy, when I first got it, I paid a good price for it. I wasn't 100% sure why, and then I saw that here there was a slight wobble. There was a slight bend in the ejector rod. So that would cause, I mean, it's one of those things that you notice, especially when you're like OCD, that when you spin it, it's not perfect. But I did some work. I removed it. I put it in a vise. I spent a lot of time making little micro adjustments here and bending it. Where, see if I spin it, I don't know, you might, even if you see like a teeny movement. See, I'm a little surprised. There is like a little bit of play here. Wonder if the same type of play is on the Python. Let's take a look. See if that play exists on the Python. Yeah, it does. See, it's not a question of fit and finish. There is a little bit of play here, no matter what. My adjustments were pretty good. It spins pretty good. See, I didn't even know there was this much movement. I thought it was less. See, now I'm OCDing on it again. Thought I had done better than that. But man, it's only off by a teeny bit. It's better to leave it. It's as long as the cylinder spins that smooth, you know, I don't think there's a problem. But hey, if that cost me to get it for you know, hundreds less, then so be it. And here's some shooting video on it. Please give me a break on my grip, how I'm holding it. I'm manipulating cameras. I got everything going on with the 22 version. You don't even really need the double grip. I just kind of made my own grip there. That's all. Just laying a couple of fingers against my my strong hand there, from a couple of fingers from the weak hand, just to steady things. But very accurate, this gun too, with the 6-inch barrel, and it's heavy. I mean, it weighs just as much as the Python does, if not more. And it, I mean, recoil with 22 target ammo is, or any 22 ammo for that matter, is nil, you know. So, yeah, so the Colt Trooper MK III in 22 long rifle. You gotta love it. You know, you hear that these things need more care, more timing adjustments. Let's say you're more prone to the timing getting screwed up on them than Smith & Wesson's, that they're a little bit more finicky. I have had this one be a little bit weird when I was firing double action, where, you know, it hung up a little bit a couple of times. But it never does that without ammo in it. So you kind of wonder that, you know, maybe some 22 ammo, when it gets hit by the firing pin, the rim squashes a little bit, and could make it bulge or move in such a way that it rubs or interferes. This is a very tight fit right here, and it could rub if depending on the kind of ammo it is. Maybe some ammo the rim mushes and mushrooms more than others. So I wouldn't really attribute it to timing issues with it, but I have felt a couple of times that it would hang up a little bit, but it never hangs up like that if you're just manipulating it by hand, playing with it. It never does that. So I don't know what to attribute that to, but my Python never does that. So I'm thinking that maybe it's just a rim fire issue. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it is. But look at them. They certainly look good together, huh? I mean, and the fact that they're both 79s. I mean, that was the point. The point was, have something to go to the range with that looks like a Python. Everybody, when I go to the range, always calls it a Python, and I'm sitting there for pennies shooting off boxes of 22 rimfire, having fun. And that's what it's all about, having fun. So I love to figure out, for one 6-shot round of 357, like, how much does that cost? 6 shots of 357. How many shots of 22 long rifle would you get for that? Somebody figure that out. You know, try to use comparable ammo. You know, don't use like the most expensive 357 and the cheapest 22. Try to use like mid-range 357. You know, just regular MagTech, or just regular ammo. Nothing crazy. Regular 357 ammo versus regular 22 long rifle ammo. How many rounds of 22 would you get for the 6 shots out of the Python? Somebody do those calculations. And on that note, again, thanks to all the new subscribers. I know I've been gone for a while, and it's nice to see you guys rolling in. Maybe you're patiently waiting for the next video. I'm really appreciative. And we got a lot of stuff. Trust me, the weather's going to start getting warm. The days are getting longer now. And this is start turning into Millsap Garage time right here. And we'll be seeing you soon. Y'all take care.